In this video, it's the start of our full series. We're going to be looking at how to build a portfolio website with the CSS Grid. Hey there, if you don't already know, my name is Kevin, and here at my channel we learn how to build the web and how to make it look good while we're at it with a new video every single Wednesday. And now we're going to be looking at how to build a portfolio page using CSS Grid. The design for this site I worked on for the past 3 videos. You should see it over here going by. If you want to see how I designed it, you can go and check out the video for that. There should be a card there right now for that, or there is a link to it in the description below. I really think this one's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be just doing the markup in this video, so all the HTML for it. Then we're going to go section by section in subsequent videos where we're going to build out the site using CSS Grid to do it. I think it's going to be really cool and a lot of fun. We're going to be using a lot of the stuff that I've already covered in my previous videos, but we're also going to maybe throw in some new things along the way. We'll see how it works as we go. On top of that, I'm also going to be doing some JavaScript. So once the whole layout is done, we're going to come in with some JavaScript to actually make things work properly, right? So when we click on the portfolio items, I want a modal to pop up. We're going to have the whole modal for that there. So that's going to be using some JavaScript. And our menu is going to be behind a little hamburger. So we're going to click, it's going to slide in and out. So that's going to take some JavaScript as well. So this might be a bit of a longer series. Also down below, there is a link to GitHub. So you can follow along. I have the GitHub repo there. You can follow along as I work on this series. There's actually 2 links. One of them is to my starting point where it's pretty much an empty thing, but I have set it up using npm and gulp. So you're going to see I'm just going to type in a little gulp command and have auto refresh in the browser, and it's also going to compile my Sass for me. So if you want to use that, you can use the starter one, or if you just want to follow along with where I am now, you can find the repo for that as well in the description below. If you're curious about how to use the whole gulp flow, there's an extra video for you. You can find that in the description below, and there should be a card popping up on one of those sides right now. That video is an unlisted video, so you can't just get it. It's not part of the series officially, but if you want to follow along with exactly how I'm working, you can do that. So it doesn't need pre-pros or anything like that. It's all free to use. You just have to download Node.js, do a few little install thingies, and it's good to go, and it works like a charm. So there is that other video that walks you through that if you want to be able to follow along with those steps. And with all that out of the way, let's start writing some HTML.
What are we doing in this project? Well, we're going to be building out this site. So let's just take a little zoom in. I'm going to start with the mobile view first. So we're going to be building out this. This is the desktop view of it. And then this is the portfolio item there. And here there's some portfolio stuff over here. And we have a nav that opens and closes, sliding in and out. So this video is just going to be the markup that we're going to be writing for this here. So I'm going to write as much of the markup as I can for this. So what I'm actually going to do is make this smaller and bring this back up. We'll shrink you all the way down. I don't need my layers on the side there. And let's just put you over here. Hey, there we go. Okay, so I can start working. I'm not going to make one giant grid item for all of this just because I don't need to. I don't think I need like a really big grid. I could have them as auto grid, but then I don't think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm not going to have like a big container for the whole site. We're going to just start off up here with my portfolio section there. So I'm going to call this my hero, and I do use Emmet, but I'm not going to do anything too crazy with Emmet here. So if I do .hero push tab, there we go. You can see that it pumps that out. So we have my div class hero. Now inside of the hero, I don't have very much. I just have welcome to my portfolio, and I'm actually going to wrap all of that in one big H1. Welcome to my portfolio. And we should spell welcome properly, right? Welcome. There we go. Welcome to my portfolio, and I'm just going to put this span. I have an autocomplete on. Welcome to my portfolio. It's one big sentence, so it makes sense for me that this is just like that. That's pretty much done. Now here for this one, let's zoom in a bit on that. I have these empty boxes on the side, and then I have this here in the middle. These are going to be background images. I don't really like having empty divs, but this is going to be, let's call this section welcome. So we're going to have welcome left plus welcome, welcome middle plus welcome right. Does that make sense? We have 3 divs, one for each of those. Maybe I could even put that as an image. Should I put them directly in there? We'll see. In here, though, we do have my text. So we have an H1. Now, I did have a question. I forget who asked. I apologize. About using H1s multiple places. Each section can have its own heading. And I personally find it easier to use that, except this might be an H2. Because that's going to be my H1 style. That's going to be my H2 style. So you're actually an H2. Yeah. But this H1, H2, I know you're supposed to always start H1 and sort of work your way down. Maybe this would be better as like an H1 class H2 or something like that. Let's just go with H2. Making it happen. And I only want this text here. Copy that. You get to go in a nice paragraph. Paste. So right here we have my left. Let's just save this. We should see a few things on there at least. There we go. So welcome to my portfolio, making it happen, and that, you know what, let's put these images actually in here. So image should be in my image folder, welcome 01.jpg. These are PNGs actually, I think. Ha, awesome. A computer screen. Our computer, let's do a laptop on a wood table. Cool. And I might take these off, but image, src, whoops, image. That's annoying, image. So this one will be welcome. Can't type today. Welcome 02.png. They're PNGs just because I save them directly out of welcome, what? I forgot my image folder. I got them right from Adobe XD. I would have preferred JPEGs, but they weren't heavy files by any means. 2 computers and a laptop on a table. Okay, cool. So that is done. That's here. Let's move down now onto this one. This one's a little bit more complicated, right? So let me just think for a second. What we want to do is we're going to have, it's going to have to be in a container because we need something to hold it in the middle. And I might do that as a section about me. Should I do that? Or section about me. I can make a container. Yeah, let's just try this. I'm going to try doing it this way and hopefully not have to use a container. I want to avoid the containers as much as possible. This is going to be, the about me will be a grid, and I also might set it up, we'll use an extend or something like that with Sass. So in here, I think we can just do our image. So my image is image folder, Joe portfolio.jpg, PNG. Let's go look. Yep. And a picture of Joe portfolio. Okay, there's Joe portfolio. Then I have this, which is my H1. So I have my H1. Does it need a class? I think it should have a class because I'm going to about title, Joe portfolio. Then we can have my H2 about subtitle, designer and developer, developer. And then, so we have the image, that's going to be on its own grid thing. I should probably give this a class actually. Class equals about image. So that's going to be, we're going to have a grid here, so it's going to be like one row that's split up a bit. So anyway, we have the grid for that. So that's 1 item, 2 items, this, and then all of my text can go together. So that will get a div. Div of, what are we going to call it? I guess about text. That makes sense. With a couple of paragraphs. P times 2. And I think it's the same thing on both paragraphs actually. So we'll just do a paste and a paste because I'm lazy. Where's my, there it is. Great. So that's that section done. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so I think that is going to be pretty good for that. We have everything we need in there. Let's move on to my work. So my work. This is going to be a fun one to do with the CSS, but it's going to be super simple when it comes to the markup here. So we're gonna have another section, and it'll be called portfolio. I'll just do portfolio. That might work. Portfolio, and I think for this one to work, we're gonna need a container inside of it. Let's just zoom out on the design for a second. I want to see what my big one looked like. Oh, I'm bleeding on this one. So whenever, again, if I see bleeding, I mean I'm going all the way to the edge. So it's touching the sides, and I wasn't going to do that here. Okay, well, let's worry about this one for now, and we'll see how that ends up working out when we start coding it. So I'm going to do a container that's going to hold it. I'm not going to need a container necessarily on this one, just because there's a white background, so I can have the about me be its own container. I shouldn't need one on anything else. Do I need one? I won't really need one there. Okay, I'm going to put it, but maybe we want to get rid of it. If I can avoid using containers anywhere, I will. But I'm going to put one in. Okay, so we have section portfolio container. Whoops, I always do that. Undo, not plus. Inside. 1R. There we go. Now inside of here, I think I'm gonna keep this as simple as possible. So the first thing I need is just my H1, my work. Then we're going to have the portfolio item, but my portfolio item also does have it. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. It has an overlay. Where's my overlay? I thought I did it right next to it. All the way over here. Is it doing all the way over there? I have an overlay that I will be putting on top. So to get this overlay to work, it can't just be a picture. We need to have a bit more involved in this. So inside my container, let's just do portfolio item 1. Just, this is going to make my life easier having a little comment there when looking through these, especially when we start doing the JavaScript. I think it could be handy. So let's have a portfolio item. Then inside the portfolio item, we're going to have a figure. Let me just think. Do I need a div? Do I need a div? Okay, portfolio items, and we're going to get rid of the container. Is this going to make sense? Yes. Let's get rid of you. I don't need it. We're going to do this instead. We're going to have my portfolio items. So my work is up the top. Portfolio items is going to hold all of my portfolio stuff. And then we're going to have individual portfolio items. But the individual portfolio items will be figures. So I'm going to do a figure with a class of portfolio item. So we have our portfolio items and then a single portfolio item. So this actually, we're going to do something like that, right? There we go. So all of my portfolio items will be in this one div here. So my portfolio item 1, portfolio item, this is a featured one, so let's add featured to that. And the way the featured is going to work is you could remove it off of any of them, and it's always going to make that one the big first one at the top, but you could only have one, I guess. Maybe we could have more than one. We'll see how that works. But definitely, it's the idea is that the featured class can be changed to any of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first one. In here, we're going to have our image. I'm just trying to think, should my image have a class name on it or not? I don't think it's going to need one. So I'm going to have my image. I honestly forget what I called these. So let's go and I just did portfolio 01. That makes it easy. Image folder portfolio 01.jpg. And I'll just put portfolio item. Okay, so we have my figure, then I have my image in there, and then we're going to have a fig caption. Hello, fig caption. Doesn't want to work. Am I spelling it right? Let's try that one more time. Fig caption. Ah, it doesn't want to work. Strange. That's fine. We want a fig. There it is. Fig caption. Close. And then, so inside of our caption, we'll go with H3, H2. We have an H1 for my work, so an H2. And H2, yeah, H2 is perfect too, because that's the font I'll be using on my H2s. H2 with a class of portfolio title. And then we'll just put project title or project name, since that's what I used in my design. We're going to have a P of portfolio description. Yeah, why not? Portfolio description. A short description could go right here. And last but not least, my link. We'll call it a portfolio link. href, I'm not sure where that's going to go yet. And even this will probably not go anywhere. It's going to trigger the modal instead, because I'm going to have the portfolio item come up in a modal. So maybe it's my portfolio link. That's fine. And it says read more. I should put like more info. I think makes more sense. We'll come back and actually put the little SVG symbol in another time, I think. Let's just make sure all this is coming together. Yeah, the image is going to be mighty big. That's fine. Cool. It's all there. So that's it. Good. So now I can copy that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last but not least, we need to take featured off of all of these. There we go. Save. And I was selecting them all by pushing Control on my keyboard. If you're on a Mac, you should be able to do the same with Command. You can place your cursor at as many places as you want by doing that, and I'll just push Escape to get out of that. Okay, cool. There we go. Let's just save and see. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Good. So what's next? Next is going to be all the way back over this way. Is the contact. Yeah, contact. Cool. Okay, so it's a pretty simple contact form, except I do want it to be able to change layout a little bit along the way as well. So there's my close section. So we'll have a new section, section class of contact. So we'll go with our usual H1, contact me, and then we need to have a form. Whoops, I'm worried about the action and all of that. After form. So how are we going to do this? We have a name, an email, and a message, and I'm going to be doing those with labels. I'm a big fan of having the label. Now I'm just wondering, just because I know how I'm going to be building this out on the desktop, and I want to keep that into mind a little bit on the fact that these are going to go next to each other. And I'm going to make this a grid to do the layout on, so I think I'll just use classes to be able to pull it off properly. So on here, if I say, we'll do a label, the class name of name for name, does that make sense? And this will say name, and then we'll have our input type text. Yeah, type text. We can't forget that the ID should be name on this one. Cool. Then we'll have our label for email. This will say email. So I don't need the class on this, do I? And I'm wondering, is this going to make it harder for me? I'm going to need more markup on this, or I could do it this way. If you put an input inside your label, whoops, that also makes it work properly. So let's save that and come back to here. The nice thing, like if I click on the word name, you can see it's putting it in there because it knows these are related. So if I do a label, I'm just going to do a label class equals name. Label email, and we're going to do the same thing. Input. This is going to mean email input. And we'll add I want this to actually just be my class of email. So name, email, you can see that they're working the way a label should. And this is just going to let me work with a lot less markup, because I need these to be grouped together to be able to control them the way that I want to be able to control them. So if I did this, I could put a div around both of them to make like a contact group or form group, and then have my label and then have my input. But I think this will let me do everything I want to do with a lot less markup. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that it makes sense. Fingers crossed. Let's see how we might be coming back and revisiting this. I don't do a lot of contact forms. So we need label little message, I guess. Let's go back to here. Yeah, message. And this will just be our text area. I'm going to control all of that. I'm still going to give these IDs, actually. I think ID is equal to email, and ID is equal, whoops, don't forget to close things. And this is equal to message. Cool, cool, cool. I'm not using placeholders. It is a little bit better practice to have labels than to use placeholders. Oops, this should have message. Just for screen readers and stuff like that. But I'm not super big on the accessibility scene, but it's one thing I do know. When possible, even though they don't look as good, try to use them. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. And last but not least, here, and I actually I got some icons. I didn't design any icons. I could have designed them, but why would I want to if I don't have to? P, footer, social. Do I need that? No. I'm just going to put that as a paragraph. Paragraph, follow me on social media. Here we will. We'll have a div class of social icons. Image image folder, and we'll do Twitter first, twitter.svg. We'll use some SVGs for this. Alt is Twitter. So we'll have Twitter. I forget ones I did. Instagram, and last but not least, GitHub. And all of these should have a class equals social icon. So I have my paragraph right there. Then I have these three. They're all in a div called social icons. Just I can use that to space and maneuver things, or maybe add this little line. Then I have the social icon, just be able to make sure I can control the individual ones properly. So this is sort of like how I can control all of them together, how I can control the individual icons. And then I have my three icons, and we're not going to see anything because they're all white. If I hit, there you go. You can see that there are some icons there. They do exist, but they're all white, so we can't actually see them. Here, just to show you, style is equal to background black. Yeah, that works. There we go. So there's my three social icons. But we're not going to keep that because that does not look so nice. Save. So after that div, we need another paragraph with a style of copyright. Copyright. There we go. I'll just copy and paste this. Select all, copy, paste, save, and we're done. So just a nice simple paragraph there. Now, depending on where you are in your coding development and everything like that, not everyone uses as many classes as I do. And you can see I was trying to, social icon, I have my P class copyright. Well, this one's obvious because it does look different. But even here on my portfolio, just to have portfolio item on as much stuff as I can possibly have. And I have my portfolio title, portfolio description, portfolio link. It just makes it so I can select things easier in my CSS. So I don't have to have like figure and then figure image and then figure caption H2 or whatever it is. It also makes it when I'm looking at my code later on, I'm going back through my CSS, it's a lot easier to know what the rules are doing. My portfolio title, my portfolio description, my portfolio link, those all make a lot of sense. They're very clear and straightforward. My about image, I have a section of about me. This has an about image, an about title, an about subtitle, and an about text. So it makes it easy to know when you're looking at the CSS exactly what you're styling instead of having about me image, about me H1, H2, and Ps. You know, like you can probably figure it out, but it just, I find having all of this makes my life a lot easier. So that's it for the markup. That actually went a lot faster than I thought it would. So that's really cool.
And there we have it. The markup is done. It's really nice and simple. I think everything should work pretty good. I might have to go back and fix up a few little things in there, but I think for the most part, it looks pretty good. If you have any questions about what I've done, please let me know. If you have any comments whatsoever, please leave them down below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.